Last time we were out on our pontoon boat, Fin and Tonic, we had a catastrophe occur. We had a collision with some sort of underwater object and it snapped our transom in half. While the transom had seen better days, it was still pretty sturdy, and as you can see, the force was sufficient to twist and break the brackets that were holding it in place, as well as shearing the wood apart. So the new project is going to be to totally rebuild this from the ground up. Like always, it's about 100 degrees out here, so I'm going to cut this 4x8 sheet of 3/4 inch marine plywood into 4 pieces, and then I'm going to glue them all together and clamp them, and I'm going to use green Tight Bond 3, and then I will draw out the outline of the transom and cut everything and fit it all into the new brackets I'm going to be making, and we'll go from there. The first order of business was to draw out the new transom. This particular one actually has some compound angles, so I had to take that into account when doing the measuring and cutting. The idea for the new transom was also to make it thicker and glue and screw everything together and wrap it in epoxy and aluminum, so it will never have a problem again. This green label Tight Bond 3 Ultimate is really strong stuff, and once it's glued together is actually stronger than the wood itself. Here I'm putting on the second layer, and I'm going to repeat this until we have 4 layers. Next, I have to trace the outline of the new transom. Sweet, I get to use my new track saw. Next, I need to replicate the angles from the old brackets. I figured I'd try to use some big clamps to straighten out the bent metal. Now I have to test fit the brackets to make sure everything lines up correctly. I was able to reuse one side of the pre-drilled holes, and then I wanted to make new holes on the other side. I think it's safe to say that she ain't going nowhere. This is the aluminum cap that goes on the top of the transom. This also has several compound angles. This is the finished product, ready to be test fit. Once it's in its correct location, I will pre-drill some holes, and then it's going to get ready to be covered in epoxy. Once all the epoxy is applied, it will be covered in aluminum on the front and the back as well. I got a little over enthusiastic with the amount of epoxy, so I guess I could have made a river table too. Now that everything has been test fit and pre-drilled, it's time to wrap it in aluminum and then install it. This aluminum is like working with a giant razor blade. Finally, everything is wedged in there and bolted into place. Once everything is secure, the finishing touch will be to bolt the top cap into place, and it will be ready to remount the engine. I think the new transom is going to be a slight improvement over the old one.